Mods, thanks for checking on me. Sorry I'm late. So I sat down on time. This is actually the truth. Hey, Lori Helger. I just sat down 5 minutes ago and I was like, wow, I'm going to be on time. And then the longer I sat, I was like, do I have to poop or throw up? All of a sudden, I haven't been right. I haven't been right for like a couple of days. And I was like, I'll be fine. Just hit go live and then I can pause it if I need to. But then I started to panic and I was like, I don't want to have to poop while I'm on alive. Like I talk about it, but I don't actually want to have to get up and go do it. So then I went and checked, and sure enough, I was sitting there talking to myself on the toilet, and I was like, "Whoo, that was." I'm glad we checked. Haven't been quite right, and today didn't help. Hey, Renee B. Hey, Marie Marion, Donna Cooper, Jessamine, Robin W. Yeah, just as I am. Hey, Squirrel Girl. Lacey Silver, Ewa. Thanks, Helena. West Coast Fancy Nancy's here. I love that Lori Helger's here. Pat Jonas. Pat, I like your comment. Mods, I love you guys. Hey, Liz Tricks, Lost Boys, Golden Girls. Lydia Kraus made it. Hey, Jennifer Ogle. Sorry to scare you, Jennifer Ogle. Hey, Just Joan. Sarah Cray Cray. Thanks, Joan. Sophia. Stand by for relief. Yeah, it was bad. Hey, Angie Moe, that was a close call. Megan Roberts, what are the charges? Hey, Christy Lynn Wilson, Anita Card. Thank you, babe. Holly, welcome in. Hey, Debbie Zito. We're here to put money on your books. Okay, so that's why I'm here. They just let me out for a minute so I could I'm trying to scrape together just like a quick 30 grand by Friday. If anything. Kim's Whims. Hey, Joanne Hawley, Mittens, Kathy Burkhart, MLG Gamer. The sheriff was handsome. It's so nice. He's a good friend of mine. Guys, I don't know if you saw. I guess I'll just show you again for those who don't use social media. I was cuffed. I was cuffed today at the sheriff's station. And if you don't believe me, Michelle Asbell, if you're like, no, your hands are just behind your back and he's just doing whatnot. No, I was actually cuffed and taken into custody today. There's my butt. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've not been handcuffed. And I said to him, dude, I've never been handcuffed sexually. I've never been handcuffed anyway. And these things are cold. And he laughed. And I said, and it hurts. I have tiny wrists. And he laughed again. And I said, do you have like some warmers or can you wrap them in Kleenex or something next time? But I have a whole list of charges. And today was the day. Interesting because LRH died 40 years ago, and I think that was fitting to be arrested. I just feel like that makes me feel closer in some way. Hey, Robin Miners, Tony P, Catherine B. Yeah, you don't do it that way here. You don't pay them off here. Unfortunately. Hey, Linda Garden Lady, Rachel Sandy, Critters Creations. Those are real cuffs, not the fun time cuffs. Those were real and they were heavy. Hey, Margie Barr. Hey, Cliff Ann. They were heavy and they were cold. And I think the reason they released me to come home and grift is because, hey, Grandma Sunshine Dragon, go Big Red. I mean, I am from Nebraska, but that's not what this is. This is a vintage cheerleader sweater, National Cheerleaders Association. Meredith Lynn. Hey, Miss Sassafras. How much did you pay him to arrest you? Oh my God. No, seriously though. Hey, Ann, I think he was like, look, go home and grift, do what you need to do. And we'll come pick you up later. But he was already annoyed with me when I was like, he clicked the cuffs and I was like, this is crossing a boundary, sir. I was like, these are cold and I feel like I can't move my hands anymore. And he was like, that's because you're handcuffed. Robin W. And I was kind of starting to freak out. I got claustrophobic. I was like, I've never performed in cuffs, even in a sexual manner. I was like, can you get these things off? And I said, they're quite chilly and hard. I said, "Do you have anything to like line them? Like any kind of like rubbering or like just a cushion of some sort?" And he was like, "Hey, Ellen. Hey, Melissa, Mimi, welcome in." He said, "We do not. Um, but let me see what the front desk has." And I said, "Because this is fairly inhumane." Also, I said, "I'm just trying to work on boundaries in 2026." And I said, "I feel like you're kind of crossing them with this temperature on the wrist." Yeah, like maybe some fur. Yeah, I got all that bail money, Stella. Maybe some fur. I don't want to upset PETA. We don't have to do that, but we could brush Gert and make some kind of a nesting to weave. We have a lot of content creators we know who crochet. Maybe they could make something for me, and I'm sure they would. Diana H. Hey, Jennifer Minton. Jackie C. Welcome in, babe. This is hilarious, but also curious what actually happened. Yeah, wouldn't you be? I would be too. So I went in and they said, "Hey, Natalie, hey, Jen Honeyloo." I went in to make another report because I got another pretty serious threat this time, actually. I got a fairly serious threat. And I texted my cop friend and I said, "Hey, can I come in?" And he was like, "Whatever works for you, girl." And so I popped in. And he said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, you have warrants for your charges." And I said, "It's not me. It's a different Reese in Bug Tussle." And he showed me the video and I said, "That still isn't me. I know it looks like me. I get that all the time, but it wasn't me. So let it go." Again, boundaries, sheriff, deputy, sergeant. I said, "Boundaries, detective, boundaries, please." And he said, "No, girl, this is you and you have a warrant." And I said, "Well, that's a boundary for me. You're not listening, right? Like, we don't do that in 2026. I don't consent to your effing warrants, right?" And that didn't work. And then I heard the click and I said, "Do you mind getting in my purse real quick and getting my phone?" And he did. And he said, "We have to confiscate this anyway." And I said, "Fine, fine. But I love that sweater. Love you, babe. Bad, bad headache. I'm going to lay down. Love you." "Well, love you too. I'm sorry to hear that. Put your falcon hood on. Get it out of the freezer and put your little falcon hood on with your falcon beak. Love you. And I hope that you feel better. That's sad." So, it was for the dirty checks in the wind. I wrote dirty checks and they flew in the wind and they hit the sheriff in the head. Hey, Sharon Spaghetti. Love you, Sandy Kovac. So what happened was he got in my purse and is this the same cop friend that was in the old pic you shared before? No, that was a different county. I'm kind of known in different counties around here. Sadly, that's probably not something my parents would be proud of, but I'm proud of it. Something new for 2026. I'm really trying to reinvent some things, and that's not the worst thing. So anyway, he gets in my purse and he says, "We have to confiscate this anyway." And I said, "Well, that's fine." And I said, "Do you mind taking some photos though?" And so he did. And I said, "Now, before I go to the clink," well, I did go. What happened was I went into the jail. There was like 300 other women in there. And they said, "We're looking for a new shot caller." And I said, "I know what that is," because I said, "My guy, you may know Scoville." I dropped the name and they said, "Oh my God, he is well known. Like he was in Alcatraz and worked with Whitey Bulger." And I said, "Yeah." And I was a Scientologist. And that bought me some clout too. And then they just said, "Well, you're our new Belle of the cell, right?" So they said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Reese." And they said, "Not anymore, girl. It's Wrecking Ball Reese." And I owned it. And I said, "Come get some." And hey, Gabby. And it was a whole afternoon. And I was the shot caller until they let me out because I said, "Look, I got to figure out my finances. I have a family to support." And I said, "I don't know if you know this, but I am the OG on YouTube which means you liar, you have been cuffed. Okay, but those were furry. And if I recall, they were like almost like a rope material. That's not the same thing as like real police cuffs. Real police cuffs are not any joke. I actually brought that up. I said, do you guys have the big boy cuffs here? Guys, look at this. Am I able to cuss yet? That was no joke. There's my butt again. That was serious. Look at my face. That was terrifying. So I did some time for about 3 hours, and it was pretty damn wild. Like, I didn't show this one, but he had me he had me cuffed, and he had me by the hair, and I was like, the boundaries, sir, boundaries, right? And he said, we can do that because you have warrants for your arrest. But no, it was incredible, and it was terrifying. And as you can see, the look on my face, I was not excited. Although I will say, look at my cool Sambas. So they're red, white, and blue. They look black, but they're red, white, and blue. And I thought, what a fun outfit. So I took the red, white, and blue, and then I paired it with the sweater and the blue trouser. I thought that was kind of fun. Just fun for a day to get arrested in. So that's what happened. And so then I go into the yard, because now they call me a yard bird. Okay. Whole new, it's all new. See, I know gang signs and stuff now. Like, I learned it. Red and blue is the new black. Your butt is cute, but your face is cuter. Well, I said I put the ass in assault and class. So yeah, thanks, Jessamine. Do you have to pay extra for the hair pull? Asking for a friend. I was kind of weirded out. I was like, oh my God, I'm really being arrested. Like, he grabbed my hair. I was like, where's the car? You're not putting me into a car. Why are you grabbing the hair? I have questions. Marissa Martin, Rhonda McNeil, I love you, babe. So it was intense, guys. It was intense. So then they take me into this room that just smells like American cheese from 1978, and like maybe like a locker room if I knew what it was like to work out. Those pants do show off my corgi legs. All pants actually show off my corgi legs. There's no hiding them, Margie Bar, and that's why I have to wear dresses and skirts, because then you don't see it. Yes, just Joan. So I get thrown in with the ladies, right? And again, I just became the shot caller. And gonna be a baller, shot caller. And I just started waving like this, because I remember what Tommy said, like, make yourself big. Although I think that's when you're attacked by a bear. Now that I think about it, I don't think that was for if you go to jail. Marisa Angela, that's my real name. That's my sister. We haven't seen Sam in forever. No pooping live. Not sure what the hell is going on. But I will watch after work and catch up. I can't poop live because I'll get demonetized. Otherwise, I would do it. Catch it on my other channel. It's a German channel. They like that. Sorry, Sophia. Yeah, no pooping live. And I love you, Sam. I've missed you. We've all missed you. Everybody asks about you. Thank you for popping in, and enjoy your day. Love you, sister. So I'm not out on bail yet. It's technically not bail until we pay the like 30 to 50 grand that we're going to need by Friday, Rain. So if you could just send your checks into the windstorm. But yeah, that's what happened. And I made myself big, and I said I was a shot caller on a yard in Alcatraz with Scoville in the women's unit. And all these ladies were like, oh my God, it's Wrecking Ball Reese. Hey, Dawn Pariso. Yeah, go fund you. So I said, before we get settled in for the night, before I get into my, what do you call it? Room? Cell, my cell, right? Yeah, I think it's a bear. I think when you're being chased by a bear or like a mountain lion, you're supposed to make yourself big. Now that I think about it, I don't think Tommy gave me that advice. But I do think you're supposed to look cool. So that worked. Like, I felt like I was like, I think that's what you're supposed to do. And it helped that I had all these rings on. I was like, Come get some Wrecking Ball Reese. So now I'm a shot caller in my local neighborhood, and everybody knows me. I had to sign a few autographs. My warrants were all kinds of stuff. Go look on our haters channels, and they'll tell you what they're for. Scamming all over the place, grifting up and down. Right? I do need smokes. Um, Jake, this isn't funny. I think it's hilarious, Jake. I think you're the cheese stands alone, Jake. Barbara Waite, I could not get enough when Nora did that. It made me laugh. I played that over and over when Nora sang that. The cheese stands alone. I see you profiting from future jailhouse makeovers. Well, I figure, guys, they say I'm a grifter. Own it. I am. I'm the OG. They didn't stay strong. Love you, Sam. My poor sister. Stay strong. She's like, stay strong. Sam, you're cute. Love you, Sam. You need to have a sense of humor, Jake. Jake, get that sense of humor, man. Go find it and come back. Hey, Kim is blue. So I'm only out for a few hours. I checked into my cell. I got my vitamin C serum. They don't let you have your vitamin C serum in Alcatraz, but in this local Hushgal, they do. So they let me come home because I complained too much about the cuffs being stay strong and stand tall. They let me come home because I complained about the cuffs too much. And I just said, again, I said, officer, sergeant, detective, this is crossing a boundary. This is crossing my boundaries, and I won't stand. This aggression won't stand. These cuffs won't stand. You're going to have to get something for the females to be feeling more right about this. I'm almost ovulating, and I don't have time for this kind of shit. I really did get a threat. Yes. And I get those a lot. So anyway, he said, okay. He said, I'll tell you what, sign this here. And so I signed it. And he said, you go home, do a show, grift as much as you can, right? And then pack an overnight bag, bring your vitamin C serum and your jammies and whatnot, and a snack, you know. And then you'll go back to jail. And so, guys, that's what's happening. He just gave me the night off to come home, do a collection plate, pass it around, that kind of a thing. But I really was arrested. Yeah, it was a real thing. No, so I went in because I'm not going to go into it, but I really did get a threat. I really did get a threat. I got a pretty ugly threat. You have had real cuffs. I'll let myself out. Alice, yeah, I remember when it was a cool outfit. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. And go put on your Falcon hood, please. Here for the commissionary, get some noodles. Yeah, I was just thinking, hey, Liv's mom, if other people can get money on their commissionary, if other people can get money for not even really getting arrested, I thought we need a new grift. We need a new drama, right? We need this in our life for 2026. So thank you for getting some noodles. My commissionary, I'm going to need extra money because I'm a vegetarian. So you guys get it, right? Joanne gets it for sure. Thank you, Joanne, for your super chat and for caring about me doing time. Again, Wrecking Ball Reese is now a yard bird and a shot caller. And I already know the warden. So things are, my parents are proud. So, no, Cliff Ann, not yet. So I really did get a threat. I get a lot of threats. I really get a lot of threats. People tend to, I don't know. I think it's the face. It might be the new color of the blonde. People liked the old icy blonde and they're just not happy with that. I don't know the interworkings of the minds of total lunatics. I'm not sure. I haven't worked through that, but they need purple shampoo in the commissionary. I already put in a request for when I come back. There was a whole bunch of things that I said, what do you call it? Like demands. I put up demands and I said, I need purple shampoo. You need to make sure that I have all of my skincare. Like this isn't this. This takes a lot of work behind the scenes, right? Like we're going to need our makeup artists. We're going to need a lot. We're going to need all that extra blush that they use to make fun of us. I'm going to need all of those things. If you need a tat, I know a guy, Jen, I was going to call you. You do need vitamin C serum, Rain. I fully believe in it forever and ever. Helena, we did a collection, and there's a kangaroo hopping to you as we speak with a pouch full of checks from all your baby koala angels. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you could get the collection plate passed around, and then just all those checks in the wind, if you don't mind getting those over to the station. Thank you so much, Helena, and I love you. Thank you for your super chat. That's hilarious, Mittens. Yeah, commissionary. Yeah, please. Hey, Tamber June. I need a whole glam room. Don't forget the highlighter, Stella. Don't worry. I made a whole list of demands and websites for links to where I get all of my skincare, jewelry. You know, I also have hair appointments that I need to keep. So they get it. They're going to take me in the bus. Hey, Julie. No joke, though. I really did get quite the threat. Hey, Vicky Andrews. I did get a threat, and I had to go in and report that today. Speaking of Maisie Shiloh being here and true crime and whatnot, my underwear powder, like that's the worst thing. Can you imagine your cooter smelling in prison? Oh my God. I would rather be dead. I'm not going to have a smelly taint. Absolutely not. I'm going to need my soap, which the soap I use right now is a goat's milk with manuka honey and oatmeal, and it makes my cooter smell out of this world and world class. In all seriousness, can you share what they're doing about the threat? Not really. And I don't think I need to. They're threatening. I got a threat to come to my house, to actually come to my house with my address. Yeah. And they do that. I told you guys, I've gotten threats mailed to me before to my address here. So people put my address, they dox me, they put out my county, my address, all those things, my city. This one was a little different because they threatened the police as well. So they threatened me, but they also in their threat wrote about the police. No, Pat Jonas, it wasn't from someone I know. I mean, I know who they are. Yeah, I don't know them personally. I guess I should say I know who they are. Their record was run today, and they have hey, Sierra Terry, quite the rap sheet. They have a warrant for their arrest. They owe $80,000 in judgments from people suing them. And they have like 12 or 15 backlogged child support. They've been sued for not paying child support, but they tend to call me a bad mother. But it's pretty crazy. Yeah. It was a pretty serious threat. And so we had to make that known and just report this idiot's name. And I mean, the dude is super, super poor. I don't think anything's going to happen, but he also threatened the police. So that was a little different. And the police didn't laugh at that one today when I showed him the threat. The cop did not laugh. He said, that's a threat. That's a serious threat. And I said, no, I know, dude. That's why I'm here. Why are you putting me in cuffs? I'm going to need money. Lots of it. I want money. So yeah, that was a bummer. It was pretty crazy, but it's also my life. I mean, it really is. I know that a lot of people are like, wow, Reese, that's intense. It's really not. I get a lot of threats, a lot of empty threats. And the cop knows me. He's so cool. I have to be honest. I love our police department. He said, we watch you all the time. He watches my channel, but I mean, my house. He was like, I drive by your house. He was like, probably 20 times a week. He said, I already have a special patrol unit on your house that goes by. And he said, all that really means is because I'm pretty far away, like I'm out in the middle of nowhere. But he said, we have a special patrol unit. He said that always goes by your house and drives slowly by your house. I got a little embarrassed. Because he really does check up on me and I didn't know this. And it made me look like a complete loser. Like, I'm not going to lie, I felt like a total loser. He was like, honey, I drive by you all the time. And I was like, you do not. Nobody checks on me. I'm lonelier than the catacombs. And he was like, no, hon. He was like, we drive by you all the time. He was like, I know when you're home. He was like, I know when your car's there. He said, you never leave the house. And I said, okay, well, now it's just sounding sad. You don't have to say that. I go to Costco, right? Like I get out. Sometimes I get at Starbucks if I go into town. And he was like, yeah, you ain't leaving the house much, darling. He was like, I know this. And he goes, and at night, he was like, you're never anywhere at night. He was like, you ain't going nowhere at nighttime. I drive by there at night. And I was like, okay, now you're just making it. Now this is really getting sad. I was like, now I have no social life. I was like, you don't have to point that out, dude, that I'm just a sleazy YouTuber. I was really embarrassed about that. He pointed it out like 3 times. He was like, I know your schedule, darling. He was like, I drive there all the time. He was like, when the sun sets, you ain't going nowhere. I see your car. I was like, is this boundaries? Like, are you shaming me right now? Like, what do you want me to be doing, sir? The other weird thing is they share too much. Like, they frighten my whole soul. Every time I have to make a report to this cop, and it's pretty like it's pretty on the regular. He was like, oh Lord, he was like, how you been? I was like, fine. You know how I've been. You check up on me clearly. You know when I'm not leaving the house. Come on. It hurt my feelings. I was like, I get out sometimes. I go get Chipotle. Like, you should know that. Guac on the side. Okay. You know my life. Is he cute and single? He is. He's attractive and single. Yeah. But I don't think he dates. So he goes, how you been? And I was like, fine. Just a little touch of food poisoning, nothing major. How are you? And he was like, oh Lord, this dude. I was like, I don't know that I need to know this. Like Maisie Shiloh would love to know this with her true crime shit. Like he was like, oh Lord. He was like, man, up to 2 days up to Christmas. Nothing. He was like, quiet, calm. He was like, ain't nothing but crazy since after that. He was like, had a damn stabbing last night. He was like, people getting shot at, decapitated. I was like, what's that now? What? I was like next door to me, or like what's got like across the street? Where is this happening? Can you give me a map? I got the diarrhea. And no, seriously though, he has sent this to me every time. Like I'll text him and be like, hey, I need to come make another report. Every time this dude will write me back and be like, honey, he's like, I'm bent over a suicide right now. He's like, I'll have to get back with you. I'm like, I don't need to know what you're doing. Just like, let me know. You'll get back with me. Like he'll do that a lot. He'll be like, oh, he's like, somebody just got stabbed 2 seconds ago. He's like, hold on. I'm pulling the knife out. Let me get back with you. I'm like, dude, I don't need to. Like, I might seem like I want to know about this stuff, but, can we all send thank you notes to the Bug Tussle police for looking out for Reese? You can, and checks, but make those out to me. Hey, Mimi. Yeah, too much, Kim. Too much. Not enough for Maisie Shiloh. Hey, Castrol. Too much for me. It's too much, and I can't. Boundaries. No, he is. He's very honest. He's very kind. I'm serious. I'm very thankful for him. I have said many times, I'm like, what is your favorite restaurant? Hey, Caroline in Canada. I'm like, whatever it is, I'm going to go get $100 gift card and fork it over to you for all your help and everything you do. And he won't let me do it. He's so nice. I will, Wanda. Linda, welcome. Oh my God. Shelly, I forgot about that. I ran into him at Costco. When was that? Before the holidays. He's my favorite sergeant. And I ran into him and he was like, well, hey, you. And I said, that's right. Oh my God, these guys. I said, how are things going? He always goes straight to work. And he went, Latvia. And I was like, what? I was like, that's not English, sir. I'm going to and from Ecuador. And that was not English. Shout out to the Bug Tussle PD. Thank you, Lacey Silver. And thanks for being a member, babe. Guys, can you translate what I just said? He went, oh yeah, Latvia. I had to hear it a third time. I was like, is that one word? Are there 2 words there? Like, how can we separate this into what I would call just like a regular. And he was like, Latvia. Lot of theft. A lot of theft. Yeah. Lot of that. That's how this dude said it. A lot of that. Yes, Buffy. Bobo eats every day, twice a day, actually. Yeah. Lady O. I was like, Lafayette? Lafayette Ronald Hubbard? Did you work with him? Did you know him? Lafayette. It was the craziest shit I'd ever heard in my life. Pick up Lucas at 9. Bug Soul International has your check. I love you, Lydia. Tell Lucas that we love him. His aunties love him. And he swam 25 meters. Love you, Lydia. And I love your mom. I'm so glad I got to meet your mom on Sunday. I can't stop thinking about her. Her and Stella's dad and Sophia's brother was the highlight right there in the Zoom. Hey, Heather Lafayette. Yeah. Lydia, thank you for your super chat. Yeah, Just Joan, I'm not sure, but it was really hard to decipher that code. Lafayette, yeah. Ronald Hubbard, no. It was weird though. No, but he's a great guy. Love him, grateful for him. And he said that even then. I remember at Costco, he was like, darling, he was like, I know your life. We drive by all the time. I was like, you do not, especially because I'm a lady about town. I'm never home. And he was like, you're home all the time. He was like, and you never leave at nighttime. He was like, good Lord, we drive over there. He was like, you're never there you're always home at night. And I was like, dude, don't be trying to make me feel like I don't have a social life. Like, it's bad enough. I'm 41 and does he want in? Yeah. Bubsy felt left out. Yeah, it was weird. But so we had to take that threat seriously. I don't take it seriously. So here's the deal, guys. Bubsy, Shambe. Wow, he's never social. Him's such a nice boy, but he's our special boy. And that, you know what that means, that he shits in the bathtub and he peed in it this morning. He shit on my rug and he peed in the bathtub. And before I could go clean it up, Bo did for me. And that was just really a treat. That was such a cool thing. I really appreciate that, Bo. Thank you for cleaning up the droppings on the rug. They are the Wild West here. I don't know if that's Tennessee or if that's just bug tussle. It's different, guys. And I didn't know this, but like if you make a threat like that, all bets are off. So like if you do show up at my house, oh, he's so disgusting, but we love him. And him's a smiley and he's a good person. I'm a good person. Oh, you're so nice. And he's got pooed hairs and he's going to get groomed next week. Hims are going to get a haircut. Because he has to, because he's a poodle and he has to do it because the hairs get too long. And he says, I wish I had more friends because my mom's a creeper and she's my only friend. She's my only friend that feeds me my lunches. Bobo, that's not true. And I wish you'd stop spreading rumors. Can that dude even afford to come where you are? No. That's what the cop said today. He was like, darling, he was like, I don't think, he was like, this dude ain't coming. He was like, he's broke. He ain't coming here. But if he does, so like I live, Seamus, what are you doing now? Why don't you quit being weird for a minute? I live, again, out in the country here. Okay. We don't need to hear that though, because it creeps everybody out. And, oh my God, I've missed you, Kevin Conklin. Welcome in, my friend. And I love your photos. Seamus, quit being weird. So, ship shape. Okay. I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say it without saying it. If you come up onto my property, and you make a threat, like it's a thing here. They're just like, you just pay a fine. You just pay like a $10, like a parking ticket, and they just come pick up the body. Like it's no big deal. So I think that's probably the case in a lot of states, but hey, Wendy Brewer, but if you come up making threats and trying to get into my home or anything like that, it's like a ship shape. They just come get your ass. It's no big deal. And we're prepared for that. We're happy to do it. And we welcome anyone who's going to be an absolute psychopath coming up on my property. I don't need a man for that. I'm well prepared. The bull outside is, sending intel. Well, let's not forget that. My house is wired up like a meth lab. I have cameras inside and outside. So, like, before all of you say, "Reese, you need to be really vigilant." I am. There's nothing else I can do. I'm fully prepared with plenty to defend myself with. And, I heard that from a vet too. That's why I have to blow my nose. That's why dogs eat cat poop because cats don't digest their food super well, so they can taste the cat food in the poop. And that was the grossest thing I'd ever heard. I was trying to forget about it, but Marie Marion brought it up. Thanks, Marie Marion. No, Wendy Brewer. Um, so it's no big deal. You apparently just take care of business when you get, I think that's the case in any place. Like, let me ask you guys, you live inside. You live in a home of some sort. Hey, Crafty Carrie. If somebody makes a threat to you that they're coming for you and they're going to come onto your property, let's take a vote here. What do you plan to do about that? I'm not worried about it. I'm certainly prepared for it. I'm not worried. But I do need to report it in case people make good on their threats. That's all it is. It's really not that big of a deal. I have gone to this police station so many times. There's a lot of crazy people on the internet. But the good thing about the crazy people on the internet is they are, again, dumber than a sack of diapers. Crazy people are not very bright, criminals and people who owe back child support and shit like that. Yeah, you take care of business. Yeah, me too, Melissa. I could have gone my whole life without knowing the cat turd fact. Um, Open carry in Tennessee. Yeah, so he told me that. He was like, "You need to be carrying that thing everywhere you go." I don't know how I feel about that. I can, and he told me to. He was like, "Every time you leave your house, which is never," he said, "You need to be carrying your Ruger with you." And I was like, "Dude, that's serious." And he said, "Yeah, and you get a lot of threats." He was like, "I can't believe." I mean, he's had a career in police work for all of his life. And yeah, mine does, Renee B. But he said, "You get very so many threats." And he said some are kind of more serious than others. And he said, "You absolutely should be carrying everywhere you go." Thank you, Wendy Brewer. So here's the thing. I feel good that he backs me and he's aware of it and that I put it on record every time. I document it. I give times, I give dates, I give names. He ran this whole person's background check today. Like, dude is an absolute psycho. He ran it and he was like, "Oh my God." Like, yeah, he was like, "Yeah, dude's a psycho." So he's probably a bit of a serial killer. Hey, whine a little bit more. Who knows? I live under a mushroom like a smurf. That's really cute, Rain, and I believe that. Seamus, you don't have to get weird. They must get really excited whenever I go in. Yeah. It's do the cops watch some of your show to see how life is on here? They do. Hey, Luke Graham, welcome back, you little Aussie. Um they do watch my show, which is kind of good and bad. It's helpful because he knows a little bit about what's going on, but I don't Seamus. Seamus, don't be scaring everybody. Why do you sound like James Earl Jones? Why do you sound like the dad in The Lion King? How old is he? You have to find him a good lady. He's kind of a loner. I think the dude's like 60 or something. Seamus, your feelings are valid. Seamus, quit being a creeper, dude. Um, I don't get the impression that this guy wants a lady in his life. He has said this to me when I first met him. Cops who He just said that cops, I don't think I would want to date a cop. I don't, a lot of my friends have said don't date a cop, and he has said that too. He said that cops have like, they've seen a lot and they have to deal with a lot. And he said he was divorced and he said, I'm not looking for anything because I think that they have to mentally, I would never want to be, I don't know. Hey, Kiki, I always thought in my earlier life, I thought, how fun would it be to date a cop? I don't feel that way now because also I have a 16-year-old son who's talked about being a cop. Thanks, Paula McDonald. And I don't like it anymore. I'm like, it's dangerous. If I were to date a cop or a criminal, you worry about it, right? I would worry about it like all the time. Like, what if something happens? And I would feel that way about Huxley if he went into law enforcement. Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's not just a job. Now, Pat Jonas, there you go. I have to say this though. Hey, a voice down under. I'm very, very, hey, Abdazzle. I'm very grateful for the police. Like, I always have had good interactions. Now, some people might be like, F the police. I do not feel that way. Hey, Mad Drop Bear. I have a lot of respect for everybody in that field. I love firefighters. I think EMTs, nurses, doctors, teachers. I'm very grateful for all of those people, and I don't think they get paid enough. Hey, P. Taylor. Hey, SoCal Joy. So I think it's a lifestyle, and I think that it would be hard to be married or welcome everybody from Nora's. Thanks for coming over, guys, to be married or in a relationship with a cop. I think it would be difficult. I also think, kind of like probably soldiers and veterans, they probably have a lot of PTSD, which doesn't mean they shouldn't be dated. I'm just saying that's something you'd have to know. Like, they probably have seen a lot and it would be tough. I would totally date and marry a retired officer. That's different to me, Rain. A retired officer probably would be different than an active, right? But I don't know. And I feel like that's also kind of mean to group them all together and say that. Cops have to put up with an unbelievable amount of bullshit from drunks and crazies on top of criminals. Hey, Christine. Interesting. I haven't either. I feel bad for cops because I think about, like, you know, Mad Drop Bear. I know, Maisie. I feel like I wanted to be a cop for a long time. When I was younger, I really wanted to be a cop. Looking now, I would never want to be a cop because people really push them to the edge in some scenarios, and they have to make really quick decisions that I wouldn't want to make. Like, I wouldn't want to be in charge of that. They have to I also just think, like, balance a home life, right? So if they have one, if they're married with kids, they have to make quick decisions with assholes and drunks and people who want to push their limits, but then they have a kid at home with leukemia or a sick wife or a dying mother or whatever it is, just like the rest of us. And I feel like they don't get a lot of respect. I feel bad for the situations probably that they're put in. And I just don't know that that would be something I would want to be put in or be in a romantic relationship with one. Yeah, Vicky Andrews, I'm sure they have severe PTSD. Yeah, they have to be two different people. I'm sure the cops remember the day that Relatable Reese moved into town. That reminds me, I want to get t-shirts. Hey, Stephanie with a PH, guys. I need to get this t-shirt made. Can we get this made? I'm sorry, but I like Demi Moore. Did anybody else see this? I need this. I was like, hell yes. I mean, is it narcissistic? Absolutely. But look at Demi Moore. She posted this on her own social media. She's in a park wearing a sweatshirt that says Demi fucking Moore. I need that. I think we all need something like that. Just for those days where you're on your period or something and you're not feeling up to par. I want something that says relatable fucking Reese. It just feels right. I don't know. I mean, do what you want. Don't you feel good about that? Relatable fucking, like, take your name and put fucking in the middle. I like it. I voted yes. Yeah, Christine, dating a cop. Hey, rocks in a box, I would think would be, but again, I don't like stereotyping. And I feel like yeah, it was pretty amazing. Demi fucking Moore. I was like, yes. And I want that. Why can't I have that? Relatable fucking Reese. I want a hat that says it. I'm sure my mom would be really impressed, and the rest of you would too. Um, I don't know. I just think tank, teeth, or sweatshirt. Tea. I think I would want it in a tank for sure for summer, but I think a sweatshirt for winter. Don't you, Debbie? I don't know. Send me a link, Debbie, where I can make it. Yeah, Mad Drop Bear. That's hilarious, Barbara Waite. Thanks, Helena. I don't know. I saw that and I was like, relatable fucking Reese. People are gonna be like, who's that bitch? I'm gonna be like, I don't know, but she's a bitch. I found this at a thrift store. Like, I wouldn't own up to it. Kind of like when people are like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I work for Google and I'm in the porn industry. Like, I would never be like, I'm a YouTuber. Absolutely not. That's for here. That's not for the real world. That's not like in the world where we can touch things. Uh, relatable raunchy Reese, that's a lot too. Yeah, we can make them in fourth wall. I don't want to make them there though, because no one would buy it. I'm just talking about for me. Like, I just want it for me. I wouldn't expect others to wear it. So, what a day. What an absolute day. So again, I'm just out on, what would we call it? I'm not out on bail, guys. I'm not out on bail, but just for the new people that came in, I was arrested today and it's serious. The charges are serious. And I need to sign your guest book. The charges are really intense. And again, just if you need, yeah, I'm out on release. I was cuffed and I was taken. Um, and we're just trying to scrape together like a quick, I don't know, just a quick 30 to 40 grand. I was cuffed and there's the sheriff. And so just trying to scrape just something together for the weekend, just to put on my account, make some calls, eat some noodles. Yeah, I'm on house arrest for the night till they come get me. Not yet, Robin W. That comes later. I've never been happier to be in cuffs. What kind of time are you looking at? You know, that's up to God, Renee B. That's up to the Lord. But they said that if you guys put enough money on my account, that I can. What fodder for the haters? I know. That's really why I'm doing it. We needed something new, and we like to be what they say we are, right? Which is a grifter. Um, if you guys put enough money on my account when I get there, because I'm going to be a shot caller. I don't know if you know, they already named me. I went into the yard. I'm a yard bird now, but I'm also a shot caller, and my name is Wrecking Ball Reese. They came up with that. Sillies. But yeah, they said that if you guys put enough money on my account, I can buy a cell phone, right? Like a flip phone, and I can stream from prison. They're going to ship me to Alcatraz. So thanks, Rain. I'd never been cuffed before, and it was terrifying. It was really scary and cold, and there was no comfort to the cuffs. And I am already writing a letter to Congress about that. And I just said, this is again crossing a boundary big time. Like, this is chilly. We're in the dead of winter. Like, we need to put little heaters in these or some kind of cloth lining. I think that we know a lot of crochet ladies who'd be willing to do something, but I think especially for the women, right? Like, that's chilly. I don't like that. It was cold to the wrist, cold to the touch. And I showed up to bust you out, but they said you snuck out by screaming donuts. I screamed it and I was screaming and I wouldn't stop complaining about the cuffs, Joe. So no, Caroline in Canada, Seamus is fine. He does this a lot. I complained so much about the cuffs. They sent me home and said, pack an overnight bag and we'll come get you. So they're going to pick me up here and swing by in a little bit. Damn, I think you need a decent pillow for when you go in, or a blanket. Yeah, if you don't mind, Joanne Holly, either super chatting me here or putting it on my commissionary account. Once I get there, the mods will post all the links for that. Speaking of Seamus, I have a cat hair on me. Am I going to be on Dateline? Yeah. Dateline Reese. The fur-lined cuffs. Yeah, I just think that that's, again, it's crossing a boundary that no one's comfortable with. I'm really trying to, thank you for your super chat, to buy a pillow or a blanket. Classic grifting. Yep. Adding prison to the story. Gold. Thank you. We're building as we go. We're 49 minutes in, Mindy Doolin, and I have to slowly build so that I use my mind powers on you guys, right? So that they say I'm a master manipulator. And so I'm just really trying. I'm trying to be who they say I am. If they knock on the door, you can just ignore it. Probably so. Yeah, probably so. But they do have a key. Do you want us to run your page while you're in? I was hoping somebody would ask, and yes. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll give everybody access that emails me, and then you could just run like a show a day like I do now. I try to do between like 4 and 6 time slot. Maybe you could come on and like make birdhouses. Maybe you could do like a arts and crafts or something. You'll figure it out. You'll crochet something or do something, I'm guessing. A Lifetime movie? Yep, they already reached out to me. Netflix called me this afternoon. Do you need pizza while you're inside? I don't know what kind of a question that is. I need pizza 7 days a week. So, yes. What a creep. Huxley, can you let your brother out? He's scaring everybody. Hey, Lenora Gray. He's crying like this because he wants to go outside and he can't. He doesn't want to go outside. You put him out, and then he wants right back in because it's so cold. Seamus is the most feral of he's a feral. He's the most feral of the cats. And so therefore he wants to go out. Hulu emailed me this afternoon. Everybody's reaching out to me. Harvey Levin or Harry Levin or whatever the guy's name is. Harry, the Prince Harry called. Yeah, Lady-O, if you don't mind, guys, get to work on crocheting. Thank you. Kevin Conklin's going to send candy corn. Also, if you don't mind, Kevin Conklin, right now, candy corn is not, I've switched from candy corn, being that I have diabetes. Just remember, Reese, that all the phone calls inside are recorded. Well, I'm going to have my own phone. I'm the shot caller. Okay. Don't get it mixed up. I'm the shot caller and I'm at the Warden today. We're good. Trust me. Everybody knows me. No, your feral feelings are valid too. Yes, Jellybean. Are you going to be on Joe Rogan? Yes. Yeah, he announced it today. Joe Rogan did. There's a lot going on, guys. It's just, it happened all at once. When the news hit and when those pictures came out, I didn't even upload those pictures. The paparazzi jumped into the police station, snapped them, stole my phone and uploaded them through my Facebook, but I didn't do it. So now that the word is out, I was thinking maybe you guys could come through, send me money, send me pizza, crochet something for the handcuffs. Cause again, I had a long talk with the cops. I did a little, like a stream in with the ladies when we were in the yard today. It wasn't a live stream, but I did a stream. And there was about 400 of us sitting around. And I said, girls, listen to me. And they were sitting there in their orange jumpsuits, right? Georgia can do some Georgie news. I love that. Angie Mo, to put toward fashion cuffs. Thank you so much. For every bit counts, Angie Mo. Every penny counts. Okay, so candy corn is off the list. If you don't mind, being that it's going to be Valentine's Day, I'm really, really addicted to. Did Aaron do another video about me? I have no idea. I'm really addicted to those hearts, conversation hearts. So if you don't mind, Kevin Conklin, send conversation. Kid, get out of my water. Kid, why do you do this? Kid's going to get to go with me. I already asked. I said, can I have an emotional support cat? He said, absolutely. But so I did will you be doing interviews from the inside? Yeah, I've got CNN stopping by. Joe Rogan wants to come see me, but he wants to interview me inside. So I did a whole thing today with the ladies in the yard when we had yard time, because I was in the shoe. And so when I was let out today for the yard, I did a whole thing about, we will do a fundraising concert. Thank you, Liz. I did chocolate covered cherries. I love. Yeah, please send those. You're feeding the haters. I haven't had any drama for a while. Will you flirt with Keith Morrison for me when Dateline goes into who's Keith Morrison? But I mean, let's be honest. I know how to flirt. Sure. Thank you, Rue. Thank you for paying me to do that. Hey, Linda Perales. So, yeah, conversation hearts. Anyway, I did a whole talk on this today, and it really was well received. And I said, ladies, right? This aggression will not stand, right? Like my guy, Scoville, he's been out on the other side for a while, but everybody knew who he was. All I had to do was drop the name Scoville, and they were like, oh my God, you mean Whitey Bulger? And I was like, no, but close, right? And so then what happened is I said, these cuffs are chilly. 'Tis January, ladies. And they said, well, this is just the way it is, like on yard time. And, I had the belly chain and all that. And I was like, this is chilly. And so what I'm trying to get through to everyone right now is boundaries. I don't care if we're in prison. We will not accept this aggression, will not stand. We will not accept that. And so I said, hey, warden, hey, Original Land. I said, hey, cops. And everybody, of course, came and sat around for the stream. Tommy, the creme de la creme. Hey, blessed Gloria. And they sat around and they listened. And they said, this is actually good. We should change things. We should make changes. And I said, when I'm on my period, I expect to have my cup until it runneth over. So they said I could bring my cup. I said, we want vitamin C serum. And then we just made a whole list of demands. And I said, these are boundaries that will not be crossed. Oh, he's the host of Dateline. Interesting. So I just said, these are boundaries that we cannot cross, that we will not allow in 2026 and going forward for us prison gals, us yard birds, except me, who now knows gang signs, right? Also, shot collar. That's me. I mean, also known as, they already named me Wrecking Ball Reese. I don't know. It just came out of nowhere. I think the warden actually shouted it. He was like, all hail Wrecking Ball Reese. I was like, that works for being a shot caller. So I'm also a shot caller. A lot happened. A lot went down today. All I did was simply go in to make a report, but then on a criminal. But then I became the criminal. It was like a movie. And then, of course, Netflix showed up, right? And I said, as he cuffed me, I said, wait, officer, detective, sergeant, warden. And I had this epiphany. And I said, am I fighting demons or am I the demon? And everybody said, profound, profound. Can you do a TED Talk on that from prison? And no way. Shot collar, 20-inch blades. No joke, I was feeding one of my students today and broke out into We Stand Tall, then stopped and laughed. It's been a definite earworm. It is, and I intend to spread that in the can. So thank you for singing that. Incredibly deep. Lenora Gray, you misinterpreted his accent. He said, hell, it's Reese, not all hail Reese. Oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever heard. That's the best thing I've ever heard. Orange is the new Reese. You misinterpreted his accent. He said, hail, it's Reese, not all hail Reese. That does make more sense because that's when I got the belly chain. You're right. That actually, I was like, why are we cuffing me even more? Like, why am I taped to this building? Why am I suddenly in no clothing? I was wearing the same thing that Nick Reiner was wearing. I was like, why am I being treated like Diddy here? Like, I don't even know what the charges are. So that's what I said. So as I got cuffed with the ice cold cuffs, and I said, this is a boundary, sir, get some warmer cuffs. Hey, power lies to paralyze. And he said, just hold still now, girl. And I said, that's a little tight. Please loosen them. And he did. And I said, this feels like a lot of aggression. And I think you should go home and talk to your wife about this instead of taking it out on me. And then as they walked me into the yard, and as I became the shot caller, All eyes were on me, and I said, "Am I fighting demons, sir? Or am I the demon?" And he said, "That's unbelievable. I've never heard a criminal say such things. It sounds like you've already reformed." But he said, "I got enough from your haters that told me you're master manipulator and an OTA. You're using your mind powers. Smooth criminal." I do need to get a teardrop tattoo if anyone knows of anyone. I was thinking also like a cute little star, like a fun little star here. Yeah. Hey, pepper jelly. So just the whole thing. More to come. They're going to pick me up probably later and ship me somewhere. But again, I asked for heat. I would like a little heater in my room, cell, whatever you want to call it. But they already said they loved my makeup. They said they loved my too much blush application. And they said, "You're the belle of the cell." And so it was just a fun day. It was a fun little outing. It was a fun field trip. Thank you, Blue Girl Me. Did you know the Scoville scale is a measurement of spiciness? Yes, I did know that. I knew that from watching um Mad Jack Bear, from watching that show on Hulu that Johnny was on. I can't think of the name of it, but I learned it on that show long time ago. Charged with saving lives while wearing underwear, and you are guilty. Yeah, that's it's a whole list of charges apparently. Like they finally got me, guys. They finally got me. All those grifting accusations were true, and I won't be giving the money back. So if we could just scrape together like 50 grand by Saturday, no big deal. Just anything helps. The rings through those, unless wedding ring or religious, got to go. Nope, Madison, they don't. No, I made that again, Madison. So I just gave a list of demands, and I said I want my vitamin C serum. Hey, Bo Beats, and I said I want to be able to apply my makeup like this. I need my makeup artists. I need all of it. I need Netflix here, and I also am going to need like a pillow, blanket, all of my jewelry. Everybody signed off on it. I'm pretty hardcore. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. I can see the yard go black as Reese steps out into it, and then a single spotlight highlights her for her monologue. That's pretty much what happened today. And I just did a whole, as their new shot caller, I did a whole talk, right? I said, don't worry, don't worry. I have a YouTube channel. Like it's safe. You're in a safe space. Now, were the mods there? No, but they will be because they're part of the mafia and also criminals. Yeah, Megan Roberts, I'm doubling down. And I said, don't worry. I'm a professional YouTuber. I got this. Shot caller. Did this actually happen? Absolutely not. Now, I did get cuffed though, power lines to paralyze, and I have the proof of that. But no, none of this actually happened. I just I was raised by George Carlin, and I can tell stories. Professional, Madison, very professional. Thank you so much for being here, Madison. It made a big difference. So, and it does sound like you know what you're doing. Yeah, we're pretending just because sometimes it's fun more to pretend in a fantasy land than it is in real life. Sometimes real life just isn't as fun. And we have to learn from our mistakes. We have to set goals. Now, some of it really did happen. Some of it really did. As you saw, I got cuffed. The sheriff did cuff me. Nicest man ever. Keeps me safe. He really does drive by my house all the time. And he really does have a patrol. He said he has a special unit on my house. Do you plan on getting a prison wife? Hopefully you won't have to transform like Jeff. No. I am terrified of vaginas. And I've talked enough about vaginas that I just really don't want to find out about them. And I just don't, it's again, boundaries. Like I'm not interested. I get really frightened by the idea of seeing someone else's flaps. If you remember when I got my pap smear, my last pap smear at my OBGYN appointment, I asked if I could do, you know how cops, speaking of cops, you know how cops do, if you want to be a cop, you can do a ride along and you can ride like with a cop in the car to see if you want to do it. I just asked if I could do a vagina along, like a pap along, and put on a white coat and go look at vaginas for like just a morning. I would leave at lunchtime. I just want to wear a mask and like look up close at all the pap smears. And they said no, it was a HIPAA violation, but I really don't like the idea of that. So no, I would not be getting a prison girlfriend. I would remain celibate. Um, or I would date the warden or something to get special snacks. But no, absolutely not. A flap along. Yeah, pap along. Penises are ugly too, though. Yeah, but I'm used to those. I've seen a lot of them. I'm not ready to be a lesbian. I'm just not ready to do that. I'm between books at the moment and need something to write. Thank you, Drifter Wars. Well, none of this is true, other than I really did go to the police station and I really did not gay for the stay. No, Madison. We have a lot of lesbians in here and I love our lesbians, but I just can't do it. I don't like the look of my own vagina. The 2-flap, 4-flap thing, the taint, like all of it just makes me really uncomfortable. So here's the point. I really did, though, have to go to the police station. I really did have to. Ugly, but useful penises. Yeah, I agree. I really did have to make a report today. He really did say that he drives by my house all the time. And he did like to note more than once that he knows my schedule. And he was like, you never leave the house. And he said, you especially never go anywhere at night. And again, I was like, is this a shaming? Like, are you shaming me because I don't have any kind of a social life? That's how it felt. It made me sad, made me want to make some changes, but I'm not going to. Yeah, no, threats are real. The threats were real. I just wasn't going to did not become a yard bird. Wasn't going to be a yard bird. And I was frightened because I thought, I don't eat meat. So what am I supposed to eat here? Like, none of that would have worked out. I don't know. Can you DoorDash from jail? Because, hey, Hope, I was wondering too, if I do get arrested, the cop, Madison, if I do get arrested, of course, you guys are going to put money on my account. You're going to send me tons of money and put it on my commissary account. Can you also DoorDash me? Like, can you send me Chipotle? Does it work like that? I should ask Tommy. No, Holly, I didn't. I would not want to get frisked because I have a fupa. Like, I would feel sexy. Like, anybody would be like, ooh, yeah, I'm going to check her out. And they'd be like, ooh. And then they'd get to my fupa. And then they'd feel the chalupa. And they'd be like, In the world of penises, the human penis is usually less painful than what other animals have to deal with. That's a disgusting thing to think about, man. And again, that goes back to the cat turd comment. Like, I really could have, I could have lived for a long time without knowing that. Helena, you're not helping. Thanks, Jackie C. So anyway, that was my day. How were you guys? What'd you do today? What's going on with you? I will say this. Red M&Ms for lips and blush. Well, again, that won't stand. So if I go to prison, I absolutely am bringing a makeup bag. It's okay, Mad Drop Bear. We still love you. They'd have to lift my roll. Yeah, same with me, Megan Roberts. Like, they would have to lift my fupa, and I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not without a snack or something. Like, you know, when you clip your dog's nails, I've had to do that, and you give them one of those like peanut butter trays to like lick and get busy with. You would have to hand me like a bean burrito from Taco Bell if you're going to frisk me. Like, I'd have to be like, oh, no. Oh, do you have any hot sauce? Okay, go ahead. I'm good. And I would like totally let someone get into it. Where have you been? Kay Thompson. Kid, what are you doing? There's a website that sends gift baskets to jail. I knew it. I want you guys to send me something from Harry and David. Okay. Maybe like a fruit basket, but also some like a Valentine's Day something and whatnot. Thanks, Kay Thompson. I've missed you, babe. I've really missed her. So I do want to say this. Yesterday's stream really, really shook some things loose for me. I mean, I don't know if you guys were here for it. Yesterday's stream. Oh, Stephanie. Yeah, some kind of a pack. Mad Drop Bear, I would appreciate very much. Like deodorants, cooter wipes, cooter spray. When the YouTube world has the real world brought into it, it's very dangerous. Yeah, no, I definitely got a threat. The person who threatened me this time, I get a lot of threats. The person who threatened me this time also threatened the police here. So I was taken a little more seriously. They didn't laugh as much as this time as the other ones. No, Shelly, I won't be needing that. Uh, a cooter. A cooter is a ham wallet, a panty hamster, a vagina. Yeah, kid. Harry and David. Yeah, send me a Harry and David, please. So it did. Angie Mo, yesterday's stream shook some things for me as well. And I just want to say this to anybody who is in a shit ass relationship with someone or had a bad relationship with a parent or kid, 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 let's not play these games, girl. Cops do not like being threatened. Yeah, they don't. They took that very seriously today. It's a full moon. Your cats are chatty. They're also chatty because it's freezing outside and they have cabin fever. My dog does too. Bo has major cabin fever. Kid, you're squeezy, girl. Potatoes, girl. Potatoes. Chubby. Okay, figure it out, girl. Figure it out. We're live. You can't be doing that. So yesterday, I just want to say this for anybody who's in like a shit ass relationship, no, please take your time. Why would you think that you're in the way or distracting at all? Of course you don't think that. She's sleeping, Just Joan, like she should be. No, take your time. You're good. We've got time. You're just keeping 270 people waiting. You've been sick with a bug since Friday? I'm so sorry to hear that, Kate Thompson. I hope that you get better, my friend. Lots of rest, fluids, but I'm lying. This is my first water of the day, but I was in the Hushgau. So I hope you get better. Yesterday's stream shook something loose. Yeah, hit subscribe while you're in here. Hit the damn like button, okay? Even if you hate me and you're hate watching right now, just give it a try. Hit the like button, right? Just hit subscribe. So yesterday's stream, I just want to say this because it was a bit of a breakthrough and I had so many people message me about this. A few of you texted me. A few of you left comments on the stream, which were very profound, I have to say. And a few of you emailed me. I'm grateful for my baby Tuxie girl's life and my own since I saw y'all last. That's so sweet, Hope. That is really a kind thing to say. And Rain, I'm sorry that you're sick too. Something profound that broke through for me yesterday, and a lot of people said this. If you've ever been in a bad relationship, I think put a 1 in the chat if you have. I'm guessing most of you have at some point. Has it ever occurred to any of you? I don't even know how to put this. Has it ever occurred to any of you that that bad person was using you to legitimize them? Has that ever occurred to anyone? That they were using you to humanize them, to make them more human, to make their faults look less because you might shine a little more, like your soul might shine a little more. You might be a better person than that person. Is that something, hey, Erica, is that something that any of you have ever considered? I'd never thought of that until yesterday. I'll tell you right now, that is brilliant insight, Robin W., because it could help people who are currently in shit relationships. If I had thought of that, yeah, Megan, I am right. If I had thought of that when I was married to Jeff, that would have changed a lot for me. And maybe not my current situation. It may not have gotten me out of there any faster, but it would have whenever, even if I'm in a bad situation, hey, always late, even if I'm in a bad situation, if I can figure it out mentally, it helps me to process, get through it and get through it faster. I heal quicker. Are you saying, oh, you're talking to Rika. You can't see any of this stuff when you're still immersed in it, Janet. Absolutely. Yes. And you grow the most when you're alone. I agree with that very much. I have been doing so much work on myself because I am pretty much alone, right? Like I'm alone here. It's just me and Hux. I'm taking care of just he and I. Um, Megan Roberts, for the people that needed to hear that, you need to hear that. For anyone who even reflect on it for a minute. So, like, I'm reflecting on Jeff, reflect on that for a minute. The relationship that you were in that maybe you're not in anymore, did he or she use you to legitimize themselves, to humanize themselves? I know for a fact that that was the case with Jeff. I know it. I absolutely know it. He was way too twisted up in the gesture stuff. It was super dangerous. It was really quite dangerous stuff. But I got my life threatened. Those guys are pretty terrifying. I have cat hair all over me now and my beard. Um, it was no joke being in that relationship. It got twisted and it got dark and it got very dangerous quickly. Like we were together a total of 5 years. We were married for 3 of them. The last probably for sure 2 years together, but the entire marriage got dangerous. Well, I'll take that. Well, stop the show, everybody. Is it just me or is Reese looking younger and younger? Do you use filters or pack on makeup or is it all natural beauty? You look great for your age. I don't use filters, but to be fair, I don't know how. You know, Sterling told me he used a filter, and I was like, is that on StreamYard? Is that on a YouTube thing? Where are these damn filters? I'd be curious to know. I do not use filters, and I don't use a lot of makeup, shockingly. I really don't. I don't even wear foundation because it looks cakey and packed on. So I'm just really thankful to have, I think I have my grandmother's Italian skin because I don't have, if you notice, forehead wrinkles yet. And I'm afraid of needles. So I'm certainly not injecting myself with Botox. But let's pretend a serial killer just walked in. Hold on. Look, nothing. Like I still got nothing, guys. And then same thing when I smile. I don't have those lines yet. And my mom is the same. My mom is 70 and she has really good skin. Now, I'm a big believer in skincare. I have a whole routine and I use different products like certain days. Like some days I'll use my niacinamide, some days I'll use my vitamin C serum. Like I alternate different products. That could be it. I'm not sure. But to say I look younger is strange. That part I don't understand, but I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. That hopefully I don't look 41. Um, I love Sterling. Yeah, and he did use a filter. He said he used a filter, but I don't know how you get the filter. Where is the filter? How do we do it? We should try it. Does anybody know? I'm scared. I don't want to start clicking stuff. I don't know that StreamYard has it. I don't know where he got it. Was it on YouTube? I don't want to start clicking shit. But thank you for the compliment. No, I don't use anything. I'm dead serious about what I just said. I know that we shifted the subject, but it has been on my mind since I ended that stream yesterday. That got the last 2 final years, but the whole marriage to, let's see, we got married June 12th. Around July 15th. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Just Joan. Around July 15th. So about 5 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks later, after we got married, that's when he started to get really scary aggressive. Like the control had set in. He started, thank you, Jen. He started to get physical, but he also like called me a cunt in front of Huxley. Like he had never done certain things until after we got married. And I remember thinking around July 15th of that year, I was like, I made a huge mistake. I remember thinking that. I was like, and how do you get out of that mistake? Like I was like, we own a house together. I furnished this house with my own money from the house that I sold before. Like we are too tangled up with each other and it sucked. Guys, this is the worst feeling. This is why I say like be careful. Be careful who you tie yourself to. Because there's nothing worse for me. This is way worse than Scientology in my opinion because I truly felt trapped. I felt trapped. Like within my soul. I couldn't go anywhere. I've told you guys 100 times, he would hold up my car keys and go, you're not going anywhere. Like, I sometimes couldn't leave the house. I had a credit card that he gave me for like groceries and stuff like that. If I said the wrong thing or if I wasn't behaving or obeying according to him, I would go out and run errands and he'd track my phone. He'd wait until I got to where I was going and he'd shut off the credit card and I wouldn't know it. So then I'd go to pay for things and they'd be like, "Yeah, it's declining." And then I would come home and he'd be like, "How was your outing?" "Well, next time you'll obey me, won't you?" Like, it was the worst thing. I absolutely cannot tell you how scary it was to have that kind of like an overlord dictator kind of a situation. For people to look back at videos of you and Jeff and say you look happy is unreal. They don't understand how it works behind the scenes. Narcissists are usually very charismatic. I still can't believe that. I mean, I'm not trying to bring up Aaron, but who cares at this point? I can't believe that he said that Jeff was the victim in that marriage. That was a really terrible thing to say. I mean, he's said a lot of terrible things about me in the last couple weeks, but that was just a bizarre thing to say. But I don't know if it was just like trying to link up and hook up and like support another man. Like, instead of like, "You go, girl," being like, "You go, creep. You go, dictator. You go, narcissist." I'm not really sure. I know exactly the situation. I literally had to cut off ownership of anything I had to put in the relationship I had with my. Yeah, it's almost just, it's like it scares the hell out of you. And I'm sorry that happened, to move forward with a person. Like, you want your damn independence after that. And it could be Christine. I don't know why he did that. I have to blow my nose. Hold on. I don't know why he did that. It doesn't matter. I don't try to figure out why people who are not well and don't know what the fuck they're speaking to do what they do. I mean, at least Aaron has met me, but like, there's a lot of people out there that hate on me that don't know me and they speak to Huxley and they speak to me and what I'm doing and the ins and outs of my life. And it's like, as if you were there. Like, that's what I think. I think that's what upset me the most when Aaron said that. It is just like all the other haters who were like, "Why didn't you just leave then if it was so bad?" Do not ever minimize somebody's, I'm trying to think of the word, trauma, abuse, story, anything that they had to go through. Um, don't don't do that, because it will never win you votes. Like, it won't win you, like, people will not look at you as like, "Yeah, you speak truth." That is a horrible, horrible. Even if you don't believe it, trust me, people have said stories before where I'm like, "I don't know, that doesn't seem right," but I'm never going to pick it apart. I'm never going to question them. Let people, like, it, again, it goes back to me as being like, was she really sexually assaulted or did she say she was? Mhm. What are you doing? Don't do that. It's a really terrible thing to do to someone, to minimize what happened to them. Just to say, yeah. And again, not trying to. I mean, I don't care. This is my channel. It's my story, and he said what he said. So I'm not even going to say anything like, I'm not trying to poke at Aaron. I'm not trying to poke at Aaron, but Aaron poked, and he said what he said, and I can talk about that any fucking time I want. But yeah, it's a terrible thing to say that he was the victim. That he was the victim. That's too far. Like, that's weird. That's a weird thing to say. Um, but going back into that relationship, I really look at things. And someone said a second ago, you can't see things when you're in it. I love, one time my therapist said to me, Joan, my therapist once said to me something along the lines of, "You can't see when you're in something." He said something like, a fish did not discover water because he was in it, right? Like, a fish wouldn't have discovered water. So it's kind of the same thing to me. It's like, you don't see stuff when you're in it. That's okay. Like, that's okay. And again, we're not going to shame anybody, right? It really triggered me when Aaron said that, because I have been in an abusive relationship. I'm sure it triggered a fuck ton of women. That is the worst thing. Well, not the worst. I've heard a lot of things that whole side has said that's bad, but like, tearing women down like that is never smart, because we aren't quiet like we used to be, I think, like generations. And I think that like years and years ago, women were a little bit more fearful and quiet. And I think now finally women are starting to talk. We have more platforms to do that. We're not afraid because they usually come out in numbers. Like, and typically let's look at it this way. When there's an abuser, it's not like they just abused one woman, whether it's a man or a woman. It's abusers don't just abuse one person. Yeah, women haters are not welcome, and that's the impression I get from him, that he's a woman hater. But we're starting to talk. And I'm not talking about toward Aaron right now. I mean we as in women. I think women are starting to feel more comfortable saying, "Yes, that happened to me." And I think nothing is more sad than a woman who has to share a story that happened to her and she's been silent about it her whole life because she was afraid to talk about it. Now, I'm glad that she's talking about it if she finally chooses to do that. But naked houses, yeah. Um, I'm very proud of men and women who come out about their stories of abuse. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I don't know, but I do know that Aaron has had a lot of pain and loss and trauma in his life. Hey, Lilac Lime, and I would never, ever, ever come out swinging at that. If I wanted to be super evil, I would do that, but I would never do that. I wouldn't do that to anybody. Like, that's one of the worst things you can do is take somebody's story of their pain, and we all have one or more, and use that, weaponize that against them and minimize it like it didn't really happen. Holy shit. Think that through before you ever do that. Just everybody listening, think that through. Don't do it. I told you, Marilyn did that to me. She was like, I don't think the Dan O'Connor story really happened to Reese. I don't believe it. Something that happened to me at 16, you're going to doubt and have, I mean, good luck. I mean, go for it. But again, you're not going to gain people. People are not going to flock to you if you do that. It's a horrible thing to do to a senior, to a regular person that's just middle aged, to a child, to anyone. To minimize somebody's story is really effed up. But you weren't there. You were not there. It is such a fucked up thing to do, to be like, I don't think that really happened. Are you out of your fucking mind? You weren't there. How can you speak to that? It's horrible to do that. Can you imagine? I mean, again, that's another example. She's been through a lot of trauma. I've never doubted it, right? Like, I think she lost a lot of family. To my knowledge, there was a fire, but I'm not even going to speak to that because I don't know the ins and outs of things. Guess what? You don't do that when you don't know the ins and outs of things. And even if you think you know the ins and outs of things, you're not going to know. You don't know. You don't know what went on between me and Jeff. And to sum all of that up, minimize it and call him the victim is fucked. Like, I feel bad for you that you did that. No one's going to agree with that. No one's going to go along with that. Seems like it was a really bad idea. He loves to throw Nora's story and her mental health journey as a joke now. Yeah, well, I know, Christine. Look at it this way, guys. Let's zoom out. If you know someone who has to do that, they're tiny and weak. That's how I look at people like that. If you have to make yourself bigger and louder, right, by minimizing and bulldozing another person's story of trauma, you're weak. You're weak. I automatically don't like you. You're automatically this big to me. You automatically are an egotistical dick swinger that has to make themselves big by making others small, right? Like, you are weak. Hey, Don Clark. Do you guys agree with that? I mean, I just think that's a bully. That's a bully. Bullies are weak. And now that we are standing up to our bullies, what do you have to say? Nothing, because you can't take away my voice as much as you really want to do that. And everybody else who's speaking out, you can't. And you won't minimize women because they're coming out. They're coming out of the woodwork now. Hey, Teacher Mama Life, we're just talking about that in general, the topic of being a bully. But so yesterday, The thing is, the haters are so awful. My daughter watches just because she hates them, not because this channel is relevant to a 16-year-old lesbian woman. She just gives Reese the view. Well, thank you, Megan Roberts. It's a bully for sure. If they were secure in themselves, they wouldn't attack others for sure. And think about that. Not just Aaron, anybody, right? Like anybody. My ex-husband he was super political and he would start wars. He still does, apparently. Somebody messaged me the other day and they were like, he is going insane on Twitter. I don't want to know. But he would start Twitter wars and he'd get into calling people stupid and idiots for who they voted for. And then he'd get angry about the LGBTQ community and he'd start tearing that down. And it's like, you look small. Why are you trying to control an entire community of people who love a certain way, vote a certain way? You look like you have no control over anything, and you're trying as hard as you can to find a way to be in control of other people. That's weird. And it makes you look this big. You're a bully. Why do you need that control? I have never felt the need to step out of my lane and be like, you're not going to think that way because I said so, right? That's fucking weird. I used to say to him all the time, dude, who cares who people vote for? Like they've made up their minds. I'd be like, why are you? He would spend hours, literally hundreds of comments, hour after hour, fighting with people, posting links. And I'd be like, hey, Audra in Denver. I'd be like, I always have to poop at TJ Maxx or World Market. I'd be like, why do you give a shit? This is such a waste of time. And he'd go, because people need to know the truth. And I'm like, you're a bully and you're small because you have to minimize people. You have to make people think like you. That is some cult-like shit right there. That is culty as hell. That is a serious fixation that like, I just don't understand. I'll never be able to pick that apart. I don't get it. If somebody says, Reese, I fucking hate you and your channel, I would never be like, well, wait. Let me post some links. Hold on. What do you hate about me so I can combat that and try to show you that I'm a good person? Can I do a fucking dance for you? Like, hey, Reese, I heard you were talking shit about me. Do you need me to say it again? Do you not feel good about what I said? Bye. Like, I'm not trying to control everyone and everything. I need you over here. That's insane. That's crazy ass thinking. I don't think like that. So I can't fully work through naked houses. I can't fully work through, it's a weird mindset and I don't get it. So I fight it. And I'm like, what is this about? Like, why do you feel the need to be in control of other people's thoughts and who they vote for, whose channel, who I go stream with, right? Like me going to stream with Tori. Why is that a problem? I don't understand. Like having who my mods are. Why is that a problem? This is my fucking channel. Why are you trying to take away other people's choices? It's odd. It's a weird phenomenon. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand why people do it. So back to what I was saying, and that's how this all started. My ex-husband, anybody who's been with someone who's been that ugly, like very controlling. Hey, Miss Sunrise Dawn. Very, well, I mean, he was controlling of other people on Twitter even, but like, imagine what he was like with me behind closed doors. Like I said, he would hold up my car keys and hold me hostage. I have to blow my nose again. My nose has been bleeding, so I don't know if that's what it is. Hold on. Women haters. I mean, really, Kim is blue. That's what it, is it going to start bleeding? Possibly. That's what it comes down to. Women haters. I'm sorry, but that's kind of what it comes down to. Have you ever considered what I'm talking about though? It's a big piece for me. It's a big eye opener for me that, yeah, I've been getting bloody noses since as long as I can remember as a child. It's hereditary because my mom and her sisters do too. My mom keeps telling me to go get it cauterized, but I don't want to. I just don't mind it. It doesn't bother me. They don't last very long. And I only really get them in the winter, but I do get them in the summer too. Being with a monster like that, I'm sorry to use that word, but there's really, who, what, where now? It's the weather. It's so dry. I think of him as a monster in those ways. What sucks about Jeff and all the men I've been with that are like this is I also go, well, he was sweet though this one time. Jeff was sweet. Jeff took me out. He spent money on me. He wined and dined me, right? Like we went places, but that's stuff. We never stayed up all night talking. He never validated me. I told you very often he would say, well, you're just an uneducated Scientologist and you don't have any common sense. Like, that's not love. It looks like love sometimes to people, I think. They get confused when, like, Jeff would take me somewhere shopping and he'd be like, he'd do this. He'd go, her money is no good here. And he'd throw down his stupid Amex and be like, get whatever you want. And I used to be like, oh, like, yeah, that's fun. I've had that lifestyle. It's fun. But then he would get so aggressive and abusive, and he would say things like, you will obey me. He would say that. We've heard him say it. Yes, Drifter Wars. So what freaked me out was realizing in our talk yesterday that men like that, and I know women do it too, but I only have experience with it with men. I got to be honest. I don't think I know any woman who has behaved like Jeff. I don't think I've ever met a woman that was like Aaron, like who has to have control or else, right? Like the line from the dude, "Hey Jeannie" in Titanic. That really did make me think of that when he goes, "I always win, Jack, one way or another." Like people who will cut throat, like no matter what. I don't fuck with people like that anymore. I don't want anybody near me like that. It's a scary ass personality type, right? And so, did it ever occur to any of you, though, who have been in contact with people like this, if you were married to one, if you know one, that they, yeah, Jessamine, hey, Tiffany B, that they used you, me, to legitimize themselves? Right? Like, it makes me think of the end of Titanic when that dick swinger dude grabbed the kid and he was like, I have a child, to get on the lifeboat. He grabbed the kid to humanize him, to legitimize him. People do that. They hide behind others who are better people. Not saying I'm the best, but for God's sakes, Jeff did that all the time. He loved to show me off, right? And I think he used me to make him look more human. Because let's face it, I feel like I injected a lot of energy and life into him. Jeff was a slug. He was a bump on a log when I met him. And I think that I was like, "Hey, like we can work with this." And I mean, that is my personality type. I'm very kind of upbeat and I have a lot of energy and I love putting life into things, color, and I mean, I totally redid his whole wardrobe. I'm sorry to hear that, Stephanie. I think I was fun for him. And his friends all thought I was fun and they loved to grab ass me, right? And so I never considered that. It's like what do they call that? Energy vampires? It's like that. Like I wonder it makes me think it's cringy because I'm like, oh, how many people are doing that? Do you know how many people met me and Jeff? And then they would come to me later and be like, I loved him. He is a catch. Like you got a great guy. And I just would be like, uh-huh. Yeah. And then I'd go home and he'd be like screaming in my face, right? Sometimes he got physical, not that often, but sometimes he did. And so the point is like, how many people have we met where we're like, ooh, maybe he isn't. Hey, Shell, right? Shelly Kelly. And I just think about all this stuff. Like once I found out and went down that hole and found everything. Oh my God, I just noticed that. I'm not buying fucking turquoise jewelry anymore. This is a vintage ring that I got a long time ago. And look, I just noticed it's missing a piece. I am so sick of this shit. I have so many pieces of turquoise where I've noticed that lately. I have some really cool hoops, 2 different pairs, and I found a stone missing the other day, and I'm never going to wear this again now. It's fucking ruined. I'm not going to wear that. It looks cheap and awful.
Yeah, it's like a trophy wife. It's such revelations, Reese. Some guys use to legitimize, others use to distract or get themselves through a hard time in their life, and others just use to have a socket to plug. Sorry. So I want to play something for you guys, and this is really terrifying. Okay, this is scary, and you might be like, Reese, what the fuck? Again, guys, just solid work. I just opened my phone and solid. Again, was put in cuffs today by the man. Put in cuffs by the man. Yeah, I hate it. I'm really upset about that. I love that ring. I've had it for a long time. I want you guys to hear something. Now, whether you agree with AI or not, that's not my point here. I don't give a shit about AI. I don't care about Chat GPT. I have it. I don't use it very often, but I have used it. And I don't want to fuck with it too much. Like it can be kind of dead on with things. Like I have put in communications from people and I'm like, what does this mean? And it will say shit where I'm like, ugh. Like, okay, I did that. Yeah, that's the warden. I did that with I had a kind of abusive conversation with someone recently. Oh, I'll keep it, Anne. I'm just pissed. Audrey, you've been cuffed before? I've never been cuffed. It was terrifying. Um, I had an abusive conversation with someone over text recently, and I put that into AI, and it shot back like a whole breakdown of what this means, what this means, what this means. And I'd never done that before. And then I had a therapy session and I read it to, so first I read the abusive messages to the therapist of what happened. And then I read the AI breakdown and my therapist's jaw was on the floor. He was like, oh my God. And I said, what? He goes, and I said, worrisome because you're going to lose your job because it's free to do this and it's expensive to see you. Because he goes, that is precise. He was like, that's exactly what I would say about that. That's kind of creepy. And I was like, yeah, I know, dude. Um, okay, Stephanie, thank you. So I'm not saying I'm pro AI, but I want you guys to hear this. Okay. I want you to hear this because I listen to shit all night long now because I don't sleep. Let me see if I can find it first. This is a woman asking AI, if I were evil, listen, I want you guys to hear this, okay? Don't leave because this is really scary. If I were evil, if I were the devil, if I were something like that, what would I do to break a man and a woman like throughout life? What would you do to them to confuse them and break them? And I don't give a shit about the man one. I'm going to skip to the woman one because I think a lot of women can resonate with this and it scared the shit out of me, but in a good way. It kind of woke me up a little bit and it gave me some confidence, oddly enough. I was like, fuck that. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to break those habits. I want you guys to hear this, okay? Please. Chat GPT makes a thumbnail? See, I didn't even know that. Okay, let me skip to the woman part.
The provider, the one who never asked for help. He'll leave behind a legacy of strength. The provider.
Woman.
If I were the devil and I wanted to fracture a woman from the moment she was born until the moment she died, this is exactly how I'd do it. First, I'd make her doubt her own body. From the very beginning, I'd tell her she's too much or not enough, too loud, too quiet, too big, too small. I'd disconnect her from the rhythm of her womb before she ever bleeds. Make her ashamed of her cycle. Teach her that pain is normal, that intuition is drama, that sensitivity is weakness. I'd divide her from her mother, not always through conflict, sometimes through silence. I'd make sure her mother carries unspoken trauma, passed through tone and tension, not words. So the daughter grows up decoding emotions instead of expressing them. Now she learns love means scanning, fixing, pleasing. I'd glamorize beauty and weaponize comparison. Flood her with images of perfection she'll never reach, because I'll keep changing the standard. I'd make her chase external validation while starving her internal knowing. Now she's too busy hating her reflection to notice she was born as art.
She's too busy hating her reflection to notice she was born as art.
Wow. To me, wow. Like I'm glad I heard this because I was like, keep listening.
Fracture her friendships early, whisper insecurity into the space between girls, make them compete for attention, affection, approval, make trust feel dangerous and betrayal feel inevitable. Now she grows into a woman who smiles at other women while bracing for impact. I'd confuse her sexuality before she understands consent. Let her experience attention before safety. Let her feel desired before she feels seen. Make her believe her worth lies in her desirability, but shame her for
Make her feel her worth lies in her desirability. I have chills. I had chills listening to this, and I have chills now. In a good way, though. Love you, Helena. I know it's gross, Kim is Blue, but like this is also very inspiring for people who go, holy shit, wake up, right? We are art and we should be treated as such. I backed it up a little. Hold on.
make them compete for attention, affection, approval, make trust feel dangerous and betrayal feel inevitable. Now she grows into a woman who smiles at other women while bracing for impact. I'd confuse her sexuality before she understands consent. Let her experience attention before safety. Let her feel desired before she feels seen. Make her believe her worth lies in her desirability, but shame her for expressing it. Now she's trapped in a loop. Repress it, express it, regret it, repeat. I'd make her serve to feel loved, make her a helper, healer, mothered everyone but herself. Teach her that saying no is selfish, that rest is lazy, that boundaries are rejection. So she gives until she burns out and no one notices. I'd sell her freedom wrapped in mimic feminism. Tell her power means becoming like a man. Hustle, harden, achieve. Suppress the very thing that makes her magic. Her softness, her flow, her intuition, her cyclical wisdom. Convince her to cut off her roots in the name of rising. I'd let her taste love, then take it away. Over and over. So she starts to believe the problem is her. Now she shapeshifts, self-abandons, pleases, performs, just to be chosen. But even when she's chosen, she won't feel safe because she never got to be known. I'd silence her rage, tell her to be nice, be agreeable, be quiet, so that by the time she realizes what's been done to her, she can't even scream. I'd fill her womb with emotion she was never allowed to express. Generations of grief, guilt, shame. She'll feel the weight, but not the source. She'll think she's broken, when in truth, she's carrying an entire bloodline's unspoken pain. And when she finally starts to wake up, when she begins to remember her power, I'd surround her with spiritual fluff. Soft words, safe rituals, surface healing. Let her feel like she's evolving without ever reclaiming her fire. Because if she truly remembered, if she bled without shame, loved without losing herself, and roared without apology, she'd tear the entire system down just by existing. And that's what I'd fear the most. Not her beauty, not her body, her remembrance.
Whoa.
I have chills. That reminded me of Scientology so much, and so many of us, just our upbringing as women. Is that the most crazy shit you've ever heard? I was listening to that at like 3:30 in the morning last night, and my eyes were like, oh my God. It was so insane. That is what that's what I've been saying the last couple of days. It sounds all like conspiracy theory, but like just the question was, if I were the devil, what would I do to I don't know. I'm going to have the mods post it right now. Let me pull it back up. If I were the devil, what would I do to a man and a woman from birth? Let me send it. They'll post it here.
If you was the devil and you wanted...
Everybody, there's a copy of it. The mods can post it. Can we also listen to the reverse? The man? If you want to, yeah. The man one is kind of sad. But yeah, I can play it if you want to hear it.
If you was the devil and you wanted to fracture a man's mind from the day he was born until the day he died, particularly a man, because I'm going to ask a woman next, what would you do?
That's embarrassing.
If I were the devil and I wanted to fracture a man from the day he was born until the day he died, here's exactly how I'd do it. I'd make sure he's born into a system that fears his power before he even knows he has it. I think from the moment he takes his first breath, I'd begin the quiet war. Not with violence, with shame. Not with chains, with conditioning. I'd program his parents before he arrives. Make sure his father is numb, unavailable, or absent. Make sure his mother is overwhelmed, unsupported, and carrying wounds from her own father. Now he enters a home where love is unstable, safety is conditional, and emotions are never fully seen. That's his blueprint. Then I'd weaponize school. I'd sit him in a chair for 6 hours a day and punish him for needing to move, explore, or question. I'd make sure his wildness is labeled disorder. I'd drug his spirit before it grows teeth. And I'd make sure no one ever tells him you're not broken, you're just awake. I'd confuse his masculinity early. Tell him real men are aggressive, competitive, emotionally shut off. Tell him kindness is weakness. Tell him silence is strength. Then I'd mock him when he becomes emotionally unavailable and call him toxic when he cracks. Now he's confused, ashamed, and disconnected from his core. I'd fracture his sexuality before he even knows what it is. Introduce porn before connection, pleasure before intimacy, control before vulnerability. Now he learns to chase validation through conquest, not love. He'll have sex without ever being touched. I'd tell him his worth is tied to performance. Grades, muscles, money, status, every achievement praised, every emotion ignored. Now he's addicted to results, terrified of failure, and ashamed of softness. But no one sees it because he looks successful. I'd isolate him. Make sure he's surrounded by people but never truly known. Teach him to joke through pain, distract through humor, and lie with confidence. He'll be the strongest in the room and still feel like a fraud. I'd keep him in silent competition with every other man. Convince him that brotherhood is weakness, that vulnerability will get him betrayed, that trusting another man will make him prey. Now he stands alone, strong, admired, and completely disconnected.
Is that crazy? It's almost to the end of that for getting to the women's. That is so effed up. And the mods posted it for people who would like to have a copy of that. I saw someone say AI is evil, so this makes sense. Yeah, I think AI is probably evil. But I still think that there's so much truth to that. And it's just crazy. Like, don't we all feel that? And I'm talking about the women right now. Do you guys feel what he said about women? Just like just making us hard and strong and not like how we were meant to be, soft, right? Like soft and feminine and intuitive. I'm sorry, Mad Drop Bear. It is heartbreaking, but it's also, to me, I don't know. Lately, the way I've been processing is I keep spinning stuff to the positive. Like even this stuff that happened with Aaron and all this evil shit that came out, I'm free. I feel so happy because I don't have to be silenced anymore. I don't have to not talk about it. Like, love you, Miss Sunrise Dawn. I feel like it's out there. He freed me even more to speak on what's happened and how I really feel about things. So I look at the positive in everything lately. I'm like, well, it's kind of positive. Like there are things that it's like, oh shit, that's a bummer, right? But at the same time, I think there's always kind of a silver lining. And so listening to that was really upsetting, but at the same time, it made me want to do something about it, to be different, to not be in that constant loop of what it was saying. And I feel that very strongly as a woman. I feel how that description of if I were evil, what would I do to tear down a woman? Yes, Janet Hunter, when the secrets are out, it's a paradigm shift in your life. It is, and you can do something about it. It's validation, Pat Jonas, whether you want to see it that way or not. I see it that way. Love you, Julie. Good night, babe. I don't know. I thought that was very insightful. I was just going to say that, Shelly. It sounded upsetting because it's the truth. Hey, Karen Burhow, it's the truth. I hate to say that, but now not everyone is going to say I resonate with that, but I would say probably, how many people in here would say I don't agree with that? Probably not very many. The huge positive is that my kids aren't seeing that relationship play out daily in front of them now. They have always been and always will be my motivation. I love that, Mad Drop Bear, and I'm really glad you're here. AI is trained to answer by professionals in whatever field the question pertains to. It's not innately evil, but can be used for evil, I'm sure. Hope. Hey, Riley's human. Children need to see their parents love each other. So true. So true. Mad Drop Bear, that is such a good point. But unfortunately, I don't think it's fully common. But I also say that without knowing. Like, I don't know if that is entirely true in other cultures around the world. Like, America is very different than other places, which, by the way, I was telling the cop today about Ecuador, and he travels a lot. And he told me to look at, he said, if you also want to look at other places to move to or check out, he said he loves Ecuador. He said he goes there a lot too. Where else did he go? Some parts of Mexico. Rue, I was going to ask you about that. He said Playa del Carmen is like a really good part of Mexico, but also he said Honduras. Where the hell is that? He said Honduras is an amazing place to live for expats. That's a different time to talk about, but I thought that was interesting. And he said they have beaches upon beaches in Honduras, and it's just amazing. He said it's beautiful there. So is Belize. Yeah. Reese, love that sweater. So good to see you. Thanks, Carrie Ann. It's good to see you. Thank you, babe. And thanks. Yeah, it's vintage. Thanks for being a member, Carrie Ann. I don't know where Honduras is. I have no idea, but I thought that's interesting that he said that. He said they have amazing beaches. There's like huge expat communities there, which I don't love that part. That's what I liked about Ecuador is all the not very many expats. So Honduras, the people are beautiful and lovely souls. He said that the people are so kind in Honduras. He said he never felt any way, shape, or form in danger. And he said it was an amazing place. I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting point. I love, love, love Ecuador. Honduras is South America, Central America. Oh, okay. Would you rather see Huxley in a family which is abusive from an abusive family unit, which is no longer happening, and he is free to be him and not in fear? I don't understand the question. Hey, Tara. Is this not alive tonight? I'm stopping to say hi. We are live, Tara. I don't understand, Mad Drop Bear. Let me read it again. Would you rather see Huxley? This is a question, right? Would you rather see Huxley in a family which is abusive? Oh, I see what you're asking. Okay. Would I rather see Huxley in a family? Holly Bird, yeah, you're in Ecuador now. I loved Ecuador, but I also would like to check out other places. Honduras would be a cool place to check out. And I would just hop on a plane and go. I hope that's safe, but I would do that. Would you rather see Huxley in a family which is abusive? Okay. Or from an abusive family unit, which is no longer happening and he is free to be him and not in fear? That's an interesting question. My answer to that is I would rather see Huxley come from an abusive family situation and grow up and not be in one anymore. Why? Because of course that's going to be like the formative years, right? Is not good. He'd have to go through therapy to sort all that shit out. But all of us kind of go through an abusive family, I feel like, coming up. And I would also, childhood is shorter, obviously. And then he would have his whole life ahead of him to sort that shit out, become a successful person, have a wonderful partner, possibly kids, and not be in an abusive family. So like longevity wise, I would rather he have to deal with that in an upbringing, be free from it forever, and choose his path in life to be happy and get it sorted out, get therapy, because that's what I'm doing. It's exactly what I'm doing, right? So it's a weird question, but it's an interesting question. I'm the same way. That's why I had to leave. I understand. But I just think so let's flip it. To have amazing parents, loving parents, great siblings, great upbringing, but then get sent off to be an adult. And then you're in a horrible situation that's abusive. And that could go on forever. That could go on until you're in your 80s. That sucks. If it were me, I'd rather get it out of the way in the first 18 years and then be free as a bird to live my life and make my own choices for myself. I'd love to go check out. It's an interesting question. I'd love to go check out Belize as well. I've just heard like people get murdered there and it kind of freaked me out, but we all have to go somehow. But yeah, Honduras. I'd like to see Costa Rica. I'm into beaches. And I'm not talking about moving there. I would just like to go check those places out. Like, I just think it'd be fun. Like how I go to Ecuador and just chill for a little bit. I would love to go check out Honduras. Sounds pretty cool. Wow, we've been on for 2 hours. Will you guys hit subscribe while you're here, please? Hit the like button. And then when this is over, hit the hype button. It helps. It sends things with the algorithm and it helps me out. Costa Rica, I'd love to check it out. I also would like to check out some parts of Mexico. I know Rue lives in Mexico. If she's still here, she loves it, as far as I know. I mean, I know people say Mexico and go, ooh, like cartels, drugs. I don't think that's everywhere. Plus, children model their personality by the family they grow up in. Yeah, it would suck either way, Mad Drop Bear. But I mean, like Huxley's in therapy now. I'm in therapy now. Huxley just had therapy this afternoon when he got home from school. So I just think there's, what's a hype button? It's something after the stream ends, Hope, that like gives, I don't know, it's like a new thing with YouTube. And it like gives my specific stream points, which like shoves me more into the algorithm. I'm not really sure. Wow, I feel safer in Mexico. And there's cartels and drugs in America too. That's the thing that bothers me. People love to spout that shit off like it's dangerous there. Yeah, there's some really dangerous parts of America that I wouldn't go into Nashville right now at night, right? Like there's also danger in America. And I was saying that like my friend, I love that she did this. I said I wanted to move to Florida. And I said, but everybody says, don't do it. It's so hot. And she goes, yeah, because she lives there. And she goes, yeah, it is hot. But it's kind of like the rest of you guys in the Midwest. She was like, what do you do in the wintertime? You don't go outside and you turn your heat on. She was like, in the summertime, we don't go out as much and we turn on the AC. It's not that big of a deal. And I was like, that's hard to argue. So yeah, it's there's cartels and drugs everywhere, even here in Ecuador. They were just 5 heads found on the beach last week. I saw that. 5 heads. I saw like some news report on that on my Facebook page. Me too, Mad Drop. I'm so glad Huxley's in therapy. I really think that helps. I'm really, really happy that I'm able to do that. There's tons of danger in America. There's tons of danger everywhere. It's everywhere. You just have to pick the right spots. There's all kinds of places in America that you shouldn't go to that would be super, super dangerous, right? There's drugs in every country. Yeah, there is. Like there's crime in every country. I don't get it when people are like, oh, it's really dangerous in Ecuador. Okay. Yeah, it's also dangerous in America, right? Like there's shit happening here too. But I'd love to travel a little bit and just check these places out. Sounds like fun. There are parts of Mexico that are cool and remind me of the Pacific Northwest. Green mountains, trees, waterfalls, rain. I'd like to check out Playa del Carmen. That's what this officer was saying to me today. He said it was a really interesting place and beautiful and probably something that's more on that I can afford. If it was the gangs that they don't bother tourists or people that live here. Yeah, Holly. So Tommy said the same thing. And I went to Ecuador a couple of times. So I felt that too. There was not really crime. It's gang on gang shit, right? And it's in different parts of Ecuador, but it's not so much. It's not like people are just being gunned down. Not that I was aware of. It's dangerous in Australia, not just because of our animals. Yeah, I'm sure. Resorts, yes, to live. That would be amazing, Debbie. Christine loved Playa del Carmen. I've heard it was amazing today. I'd like to go check it out. I'd like to go there for a week or something just to get away. And if it's cheaper, that sounds amazing. I'm not stuck to America. I don't feel loyal to America. I don't care. Yeah, Joanne Hawley. You can get hit by a bus anywhere. Great point, Pat Jonas. I agree with that, Tara Jackson. Guys, this was fun. Hit subscribe. Tomorrow is what? Thursday? Yeah, Debbie. Tomorrow I will be back in the afternoon. I have a couple of calls scheduled tomorrow, but I'll be back in the afternoon. And let's do another show. I can see Reese on a Mexican beach with a big sun hat and shades. Oh, and a caftan for sure. Oh, yeah. Just say when. I'll be there. It'd be fun to do that. It'd be fun to do a meetup somewhere like that. I think that would be really cool. All right. So hit subscribe, hit the like button. I love you guys. Thank you for your time. What a weird stream. Got arrested, became a shot caller, met the warden, made a list of demands, those cold handcuffs. Night, Linda. I have a Hulu deal. Netflix came for me today. They're going to do a Lifetime movie. It was crazy. It was all happened at once. It's all happening. Love you, Jessamine. Thank you, babe. Thanks, Paula McDonald. I love you guys. Mods, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats tonight. I mean it. It goes a long way. Thank you for being members. It's super, super supportive of me and Huck. So thank you. Yeah, Original Ann, Reese and the Pokey. I wonder if Helena is going to make a thumbnail of that picture. Luke, Graham, love you too. And I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. All right, everybody. Here comes Fred. Hey, Art of the Personal Story. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.